All right, hello everyone, and welcome to a Berta Blab. I'm Natasha Berta, and you probably noticed this is not actually a blab. And unfortunately, Blab has died. It was a fun platform where I used to hang out with awesome chicks, and so I've decided just to keep on going even without Blab because we have Zoom, and it's kind of the same thing. And I'm a marketing consultant, and I usually work with women who want to sleep at night and they want to market their business and not be laying awake thinking, why did I do that? That was horrible. So that's me. And today I've got these three awesome women with me. I'm probably pointing the wrong direction, who knows, but there's Sarah Lambert, Michelle Whitehead and Nathalie Martinek. And I'm going to say hello to everyone and maybe have a chat and see what happens in the great spontaneity of hanging out with me. So Sarah, let's start with Sarah because I don't think we've met Sarah before. Sarah is a woman who, I'm going to do my funny version of what I think you do. I know you do teach mindless meditation, which I love the name of that. And you do some kind of healing work and you run retreats. But what would you say is your job title?
Gosh, that's quite hard to say what my job title is.
Or what you do.
Well, I mean, I do one-on-one sessions, number one. So I do, and within that I do kinesiology, hypnotherapy, meditation, Psych K, which is a very interesting modality, theta healing, and whatever really somebody needs at the time. Yeah. That just rolls out. So even if it's just, because I'm a Reiki master as well, even if it's some full-on energy work. So it's whatever people need. And then I can do that by Skype as well. Yeah. And also run retreats and meditation classes. And my real passion recently has been to do some meditation classes for people in Bega and also at my house in Cobargo.
Cool.
And I'm running an evening sessions in that. And it's very much because of meditation has changed my life so dramatically. I would love for I invite others to experience that as well. But I guess I'm finding it a little hard to do that because people, they know meditation's good for them, but when it actually comes to, it becoming a daily practice, it seems to be a bit more challenging for me to get that out there, I suppose.
Yeah. And I guess, I know I posted a picture in a group yesterday about meditation because it was meditation day and it was a picture of a brain that said, oh, you wanted to try meditation. Well, let me just remind you of everything that ever happened in all your life. And I think that's the thing is when you sit down and try to meditate, there is this perception that meditation is this very tranquil state, and then you sit down and try to meditate and you just get completely stormed with mind energy, and that it creates so much tension in a person that their expectations not being met of what they think meditation should be. So
exactly. So when I recently went to Tonga and had this incredible experience swimming with whales and all that, and stayed on this retreat where I my husband, and it was like the honeymoon that we never had. And I spent 2 weeks in this one place, and because I was able to meditate on the beach, guided meditations for my husband. He's a very busy business person, so he finds it hard to meditate, but he was just off with the pixies. It was so beautiful to see. And just looking out at this ocean, and had this incredible experience of just being downloaded because I just had the space to be able to do it with information. So the whole mindless meditation came out, the 9 steps.
Cool.
Best technique came out, and it was like I was literally writing things and getting things to, it's like, just wait a minute, just give me a chance to to just comprehend what the hell's going on here. But because I created space for that to happen, it was exciting times of my life.
And that takes a lot of daily practice, and like when you're trying to teach your kids to learn piano, to help them understand that it takes a while to go from plunk 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 to actually playing a song, and it is a practice. Like meditation is something that requires daily application. So good on you. I know
I came back from there just going, wow, I've got to get this out. This is so cool. And it's transformed my life. And I'd been doing actually 2 hours of meditation every day for the last year. So I'd really been clearing lots of stuff. And I noticed it was almost like suddenly, it was like chipping away at a statue. And suddenly I realized, wow, I'm actually really spending most of my day really happy.
Yay.
You know what I mean? And it was like my life really changed. And it wasn't, it was a gradual thing, but I didn't notice it. It's like losing weight. You know, you just slowly lose weight. Suddenly you go, shit, you put these pants on, you know, and they're huge. And I felt like that. I just felt like my life was so much lighter. And so human experience came in and said, right, just really make everything really difficult for yourself again. And try and put on a retreat. Whoa, you know, get out of your comfort zone. And, you know, do meditation classes and get everyone to meditate, because they'll all flock, because I'm sure they all want to sort of be well.
Yeah,
you know,
of course we do.
The best way possible. You know, we are our own internal, we have an internal pharmacy. We can heal ourselves. We can create. All this stuff comes from just creating space to be able to get the messages for what we need, and be able to looking at our lives rather than being in it. You know, being stressed, but really looking from outside into our lives. So it's like we're watching, we're reading a book. We're just watching the story unfold of our lives, and it's so much less stress involved.
Yeah, that's a high state, Sarah. Jeez.
Yeah, so living like that, and I was living like that, and then I just said, right, I'm going to put on a retreat, and then I just went into my human experience. And
so what will we do if I come on the retreat?
Well, you can't come on the retreat because I've actually cancelled it. But what we're doing now actually is a couple of years ago I put on a retreat called Luminosity, and it was
cool.
It was so amazing. It was the best retreat I've ever been on, because I could actually partake in it rather than holding it. And a whole load of practitioners got together, and we just do swaps on each other, and we just information, and we each will give, so you know, I'll do the meditations, another person does the yoga. We do a swap, so we go around 20 minutes like speed dating, and then someone will come and massage, and then I'll come and say, what would you like? Oh, you want some kinesiology? Okay, so we do that. Oh, would you like some, you know, someone that deals with essential oils, or oh yeah, okay. I mean, it was just mind-blowing. By the end of 2 hours I was like, whoa. So, and the retreat centre at Mystery Bay is so beautiful, and I thought, well, I've cancelled the retreat, and you know, what have I really learned from this? And I've learned so much, and I've got a great website, and I've sorted out Active Campaign, you know, I've just loads of stuff in place, and you know, around technology. So really embracing that, and doing videos and learning, and you know, so really got the foundations happening. And also it's like, you know, there's that thing where you say, are you afraid, you know, what would you do if you weren't afraid of failing? Saying, you know, what would you do? So what would you do if you actually were going to fail continually, or in your eyes, I suppose, call it fail, but just get up and keep going, you know, just look at what work. And I think one of the main things of that fear is feeling like you're in a prison. And when I was getting this retreat together, I felt like I was in a prison, and I had a deadline, and it stopped being organic. It stopped, the whole flow stopped, and I just thought, this is insane. What am I doing? You know, I live in this beautiful place, and I should be doing what really, really makes my heart sing. This morning on meditation, I just said to the guys, let's go out into the bush. Let's go down to the river, and let's meditate out in nature. And we did, and it was just amazing. And the letting go technique is to throw things in the river and just watch them go down the river. And so we could actually do it live. So we did, and so instead of saying imagine it, we had the cool breeze. Had the, you know, and it was just the most incredible meditation to hear the birds. And so anyway, doing things that really make my heart sing and getting back in the flow.
Beautiful. I can totally relate to that at the moment.
So if ever anyone feels like they're in a prison with what they're doing, it's like, step out of the prison. Just open, get out, and really reassess what on earth is going on for you. We do that through meditation.
And making space. I love that. Let's talk to Michelle for a minute. I was lucky enough to jump in on the call, on this Zoom chat, just before it really started, and Michelle and Sarah were just getting to know each other, and I just loved hearing what Michelle said about her take on law. So I'm going to do my impersonation of what I think it is. I mean, I know you have been a practicing lawyer, and we've known each other for about a year, I guess, since I started business, and I feel like it's nice to acknowledge it's been a year and reflect back on how far we've come in understanding how to niche, you know, if that's what you want to call it, but how to bring our own flavor into what we do. Like a marketing consultant be quite a dry job, and it doesn't have to have a lot of personality if you don't want it to, but I've managed to, you know, make mine my own, and I think you've really made law your own now. And so can you explain a bit better how, you know, what your take on law is and what you do? Because
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So I've been a lawyer, mainly working with small businesses for getting on for 8 years now. But I was not enjoying it. I was working very much. I'm making sacrifices to work from home. And as soon as I start talking, my 4-year-old starts crying because she wants something.
She better come. She better come and say hello.
She wants me to pour her some honey in a bowl. If you bring me the bowl and the honey, I'll pour it. No, I can't walk away from the desk. I'm talking. So this is my life. My life is law in the craziness and chaos of everyday life.
Yep.
And I got to the point where I was sick of being the bland, beige, professional facade and trying to make that because it never worked for me. Yeah. And I was sick of being up for not fitting in with that. So what I started to do.
Do you want to have a break?
Natalie, I'll be back in
so fine.
This always happens. She's got a radar, I tell you.
Oh, so fine. We've got time. All right, Natalie. Natalie, I saw you had a doctor in front of your name the other day, and I was like, holy cow, what freaking kind of doctor are you, Natalie? Like, I did a PhD.
Well, I was a cancer biologist.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, PhD doctor. The other
that's right. Okay,
the other doctor. Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, I was a formal scientist.
Yep. Cool. That's right.
Oh, I'm laughing because Marie, Michelle's daughter, is just like so on cue, so perfect. This is not the first time. Love her.
It's fine.
We all have been, love at her. And
yeah, it's fine. I've totally.
We can all relate.
Yeah, totally normal. So, what are you up to? What's your title this week?
So,
Dr. Natalie.
Yeah, this week. Well, I kind of figured out my niche. I mean, it took its time.
Yeah.
And I guess when I knew, I'd be like, I do this and this and this and this and this. And now it's like, I'm a mentor and healer for mentors, healers, coaches, any health professional.
Yeah.
So that's my thing, because everyone needs help and not everyone gives themselves the time to look at how they work with others and areas that they can develop further, because you hear a lot of the time, well, they're just not my ideal client, or they're just so, it's a blame about the other person, whereas what's my contribution to this relationship in this dynamic? So I help people reflect on their practice and start to understand, well, what's going on in me, and maybe some things that I need to heal or transform or transmute, forgive, whatever is needed in order for me to move into a more aligned place with my business and life. And so I won't be calling in those. I'll be calling in different types of clients, but not necessarily those that push my buttons around my boundaries or around enhancing my integrity or communication skills.
Cool.
So I combine communication, coaching, reflection, and healing.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, I should have seen you about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, that is awesome. She's like a buzz clean for your soul. She's brilliant.
Yeah, and I guess I've just been trying to make sense of that exact thing, of what I call in and how, in every dynamic with the client, there comes a point where I'm sitting realizing that they're actually teaching me, or that's the moment where the roles have switched, and it's fascinating when that happens, for sure.
Yeah, so that's what I've been doing, and I just got back from China a few weeks ago, and I gave a talk to 50,000 doctors.
Awesome.
It was just mind-blowing, and it wasn't on my radar. This opportunity came out of the blue, and it's very aligned with what my vision has been for the last 5 years, and I didn't realize I was still a scientist. You don't have to be in the lab to be conducting research. your life. And I've been doing it and collecting data without being, official about it. So, so now I'm writing a book about all these things and what I presented basically, and basically to change the paradigm, or to help be part of that conversation of shifting the paradigm in medicine from curing to healing.
Cool. Interesting.
And bringing spirituality in the form that works for every other person more presently into practice, because that's the healer.
Beautiful.
So yes,
cool.
It's been amazing.
That's amazing, for sure.
It's great to be able to share that with you now, because our conversations in the past, it's like I don't know what I am, I don't know what I'm doing, I can do everything.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. Multi-passionate, amazing women that I tend to end up chatting with. Quick, Michelle, quick.
Michelle, go.
Yes, I've made honey sandwiches. We're saved for at least 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So basically, I basically am like Natalie in that I am transforming a paradigm. I suddenly realized that I was sick of being boring and bland and beige and divorcing myself. So I felt fractured. I felt like there was the spiritual part of me, there was the professional part of me, there was the part of me that liked to write, there was the creative part of me, and I was all divided. And so once I became an entrepreneur and started exploring this world, I made it my mission to integrate and to just carve out a path for me that would let me be everything that I am in one place.
Yeah.
And at first I was totally resistant to law being a part of that. I did not see how I could continue to be a lawyer. I was like, maybe I should be a coach. Maybe I should be something else. And then along the way, I've actually discovered that, yes, I am actually really passionate about the law. And I've actually forgiven. It all happened once I forgave myself for being a lawyer. I had to actually forgive myself for having become a lawyer.
Yeah, that's
once
beautiful.
I started to see the possibilities of where law could go in this new paradigm of business. And I started to realize that all this beautiful new paradigm of business that I believe in so much, that business is about connecting and caring rather than competition. The more I learned about that, the more I realized that it needs a new paradigm of support to go with the paradigm of connection.
Yeah. And
so I started to see more and more how the law is living in an old paradigm where contracts, for example, because I've always loved drafting contracts. It's something I've really been passionate about doing even in my old lawyer self.
Yep.
And the contracts, we all see them as this barbed wire fence. And they're all about fear and avoidance of liability and enforcing your position. And I started to see how a contract is not a barbed wire fence. A contract in the new paradigm is a sacred container that holds the space for a beautiful relationship to happen. It manages expectations, it sets boundaries. It's really that container, that sacred space creating thing that really manages the relationship. And the more I went into that, that's where I'm becoming more and more passionate now, is reverse engineering traditional legal concepts like contracts, like risk management. Nobody wants to talk about risk management for good reason. I mean, it's absolutely awful when you look at the way it's done. And I've written courses on it for the College of Law for lawyers.
Yeah.
And I've done all of the traditional way it's done. It's terrible. It's pulling teeth. But when you actually look at the techniques that the risk management uses, and you start looking at them with curiosity and love rather than fear and avoidance, you start to see how some of those techniques are actually really the ultimate in self-care for a business. There really are the ways you can get the what ifs and those sabotaging thoughts that hide and get suppressed into your subconscious, how you can get them out and look at them and decide which ones of those are limiting beliefs that you can just let go, and which ones are actually real world difficulties or dangers that you might actually need to take action around. Yeah. And so that's who I am and what I do. I take the traditional legal constructs and I turn them into something that we can actually get a grip on, and that actually suits our needs in this new way of doing business.
Yeah, I just realized, I think that the thread that runs through us today is the one where we use our business as our personal growth tool, and the integration of all of our, for each of us, the integration of our self-knowing and bringing the richness and wealth of our experience forward now through this new vehicle or this new practice. It's like a business is the culmination of all the previous practices that we now draw together and put this big magnifying glass on who we are and what we are right now, and how we bring something new and beautiful to the world through this possibility.
And how we can use it to serve.
Like spiritual accountability.
Yeah.
And integrity. That's sort of what you do. Would that be right?
Yeah.
Spiritually accountable for integrity.
Yeah, I think that is what Michelle does, definitely, and also Nathalie, and also you, Sarah. I think again, another thread that just runs through the work is to bring that wholeness of a person through with what they're sharing and serving others.
Yeah, and for taking traditional ways of doing things, ways that have been developed in a very masculine world, a very masculine world of business, a very masculine world of medicine, of law, of even meditation is probably the more feminine, but of marketing too, and how that we're bringing the feminine into them in a lot more, bringing in that transition energy, I think.
Yeah, and I think, like Nathalie said, you can be in a lab and be experimenting, I know for me meditation is really, I learned to be more scientific, and I didn't really think science and meditation went together, but I learned to be more of an observer and to be more noticing cause and effect. Like, if I act and behave in this way, then what's the outcome? So then when I've taken that into life, it's just changed everything. I'm not as vested in everything so heavily, and everything's not such a big deal because I'm not just reacting. I'm actually just sort of dipping in and playing and be like, well, if this happens, then what will the outcome be? And so that's your own life experimenter.
Yeah, that's like the spiritual accountability concept that Sarah's talking about. And if you look at the images behind me, there's that red cow, and that's what it's all about. The red cow is a Jewish symbol, and it's, I guess, the absolution of sins, and that's like the literal kind of explanation. And it was used back in ancient times, but really it's about recognizing the cause and effect. So what I put out in the world and the impact that I have, and sometimes we make a mess when we're not doing it mindfully or consciously, and so there's opportunity to clean that up. So the work that I do is helping practitioners undo the mess or the damage. And becoming more accountable to what they bring out in their sessions or in their work with other people. So that's what, Michelle is doing as well, and you as well, like everyone. So it's a more conscious way of working with other people to help them.
Yeah.
I think one of the other, sorry, you go, Sarah.
So the thread that you're talking about is just that we are, I got very excited about what you were saying, Michelle, because, it would be so nice to be able to deal with a lawyer who is becoming conscious and who is acting from being conscious in a spiritual way, in a heart-centered way. And that would be, so fantastic to have you setting up a contract, if I was going into business with somebody, and I had to get a lawyer, it's like, you just think of lawyer, oh, okay, dry, whatever. But how fantastic to know that people like you are out there that can, just really help us navigate through life in a conscious way. And the thread that we have between all of us is that we want to be living from a conscious paradigm. We want to actually be completely accountable. We want to act with integrity, and we want to own everything that we do. And, I was talking on the radio last week with Ruth, on the local radio, and she said, what would you say to put it in one sort of phrase? And I just said, well, I can just say it in 2 words. And that is, we were talking about integrity. Resentment, low-lying resentment, that we have, that's always in the background of our lives through past relationships that affect our relationships now. And I just said to her 2 words: own it. Just own it.
Yeah, I was going to say take responsibility. It's the same thing. Yeah.
So how exciting to know that there's people like Michelle out there, you know, that I can now go to, you know, that I could say, yes, you know, we can all start working together, and how that female energy is really rising in the world, you know, because of this, you know, the consciousness that's rising.
Another thread that I think ties us all together is that each of us have realised that when we take the time to work on ourselves more, and rather than thinking about, oh, I have to work on my business, the more we work on ourselves and trying to find our true path, the more we've been gifted with the realisation of what our true path is, and really the new our role as a bridge between cultures, and our role as a conduit for a new way of being and doing things, either in the medical sphere like Nathalie, or the legal sphere, or marketing and meditation and healing and that sort of thing. It's all a way of bringing in the new, but it's not through what am I supposed to do here, what am I concentrate on my business. It's when we do the work on ourselves and inside that we've had these, like Sarah was saying, these downloads of here's what you're supposed to bring through.
Yeah. All right, well, let's do a round of if I want to work with you, how can I do that? Sarah, what have you got on at the moment?
Well, what I've got on now is just in December, the practitioners retreat, which is literally just for the cost of the place where we're staying.
And could anyone come to that?
Just people who are practitioners. Yeah, you know, that's for that. It was the public one before, but I'll do one next year, you know, when I've just had a bit more time to sort of do it properly and not go into it with fear, rather than just, you know, just let it flow, organically flow. And then next year, of course, in February, the meditations will start again. They're just sort of winding down. We're getting into a busy time. But one-on-one sessions, absolutely, you know, with anything that comes up, anything really. It's I'm very much in treating the actual cause of things. So when I do kinesiology, I'm not looking for different blah blah blahs. I get straight to the heart of it, to straight what is in your head. So I'm very much dealing with what's going on in your head.
Yeah, and so people could find you via a website or Facebook or something?
Yes, Sarah Lambert. Go to that or call me. My phone numbers are on the website.
Great. Nice one. And Michelle, what have you got happening at the moment?
Playing mute on mute buttons. So I'm doing a webinar on trademarks on the 24th of November this month. So if you want to learn more about what trademarks are and how they work and what's the difference between them and patents and copyrights and all the other things that people confuse them with. And also the big question that nobody seems to get, which is how much does this cost? And it is surprisingly less than you think. It can be done quite cheaply. Cool. And also why you would want trademarks. And I'm also all the time writing contracts, wills, pretty much any legal document you need in your business. That's my day-to-day bread and butter. So I'm just doing that all the time.
Awesome.
You can find me through my website, which is michellewhitehead.com.au. Or if you're on Facebook, you're very welcome to jump into my Business Serenity Facebook group. It's quite a small group, but I'm constantly sharing interesting things about the law and ways to think about doing business in a new way and protecting yourself. Questions? Yeah.
Gorgeous. Thank you, lovely Nathalie. What are you doing at the moment?
Oh, a few things going on. So I'm writing this book, and my aim is to finish it by the end of November. I have editors, I have a publisher, I have 55,000 potential places to run these workshops that come from that. It's just been boom. But until then, I've been noticing in different Facebook groups, you know, webinars are a way for people to promote themselves and their knowledge and share wisdom. But a lot of women, I think almost all women that I've seen, experience what I call the crash after It's because of an energy mismanagement or personal, not able to conserve your own energy. And so not having sustainable practices around your energy, using environmental terms. So I thought, okay, well, what I do, I never burn out from this stuff because I've learned how to manage my energy. This is everything I do with people, and how to use the universal supply of energy that's always available to transmit that rather than your own, which is infinitely better for everyone else. So I've been running these like 30-minute free sessions and helping people just piloting this approach. And I'm running a webinar on it in a few weeks.
Yay!
For Michelle's to share and to share the different risks, so how we burn out and how to prevent it. And there might be some healing work involved in the session. We shall see. What gets pulled.
And so is there a link or something that people can...
It's coming. I'm figuring out
so we have to go to
get
Facebook
people's emails. Yeah. So I'm just talking about it a lot in different groups. And that's what that's coming in the immediate future. But I'm always available for one-on-one sessions to help people with whatever, using Ignite Your Spirit therapy, which is
that's right.
work on your mind, body, emotions, souls, divine, like all parts of you simultaneously. And that when you work on the bigger parts of you, it impacts your physical body and your physical reality quite rapidly. So, you experience some miraculous kind of impacts, like people having 10 years worth of a chronic condition gone in one session. And it's not like that happens to everyone, but they've been doing work on themselves all those years. And that work culminates in that one session with me, and that gets cleared. So it's whatever, it's feeling lost. It's feeling, I'm not sure what I'm doing. It's understanding what's happening for us spiritually, what's happening in our soul versus what's going on only in our life is the only bit of information we're using.
Yes.
So we tap into the big you, and basically it's affirming, like everything's okay, everything's on track. This is where we've gone off on extreme a little bit or not enough of work in this area, and we'll just bring the energy back into that. And it's really merging our masculine, feminine, bringing it back into a harmonious state so that we can come back into flow or alignment. So one-on-ones. I run a free or pay what you can weekly meditation online as part of my spiritual community. I'm the lead in my community here in Melbourne. And so I offer these sessions, and I've been offering them to people in the different groups to try it out.
Yummy!
So it's group Ignite Your Spirit therapy.
And
mentoring anyone who needs mentoring. So that's what I do.
And so where should we find you? Facey or website, or what's the best spot?
Facey, Dr. Nathalie Martinek.
Doctor, I'm just jealous. Don't mind.
Don't be. When you work as hard as you did to get those 3 letters, you want to use them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So credit card applications, email to so-called important people to get responses right away, whatever.
Whip out the old DR. Nice. I love it.
But everyone has a PhD in their own life. So.
Yeah, that's true, even if it's not documented. Beautiful.
Paradigm.
Thank you so much, all of y'all, for coming on with me today. It's so good for me to connect with everyone. I just appreciate it so much. And if someone made it this far in the recording, you rock. And if you want to come on a chat with me like this, just get in touch with me. I'm Natasha Berta Media on Facebook and on the www, so you can find me there. And thanks. Have a great day, and thanks everyone so much. So good to see you. I'm going to stop recording.
About meeting people, actually. Love